Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Have you passed 10th standard? Or are you waiting to write 10th exams? Have you cleared plus 2? Or are you waiting to write plus 2? Or have you finished your graduation? Are you waiting to write final year graduation? Whichever course, whatever is the standard, the 10th standard, or 12th standard, or graduation, whatever it is, there is one question always you have. That is, which career option is the best option for you to choose? Boys and girls, this is very important. Soon after you pass your 10th class, so many people will tell you so many things. Somebody tells you that you have to go for CA, somebody tells you you should do CS, somebody tells you you should go for IAS, IPS, somebody tells you you should go for NDS, somebody tells you you should go for medicine. In India, of late many parents are so crazy telling all the children that as if there are only two courses, engineering or medicine or CA, so on and so forth. So many people will tell you so many things, saying and stating that this is the career that you're supposed to take up. Boys and girls, I know this, there's nothing wrong in hearing people, there's nothing wrong in listening and speaking to the people who have already been successful in that field and choosing that career. But do you really think that career is actually suitable to you? Just because I told you that you should become a teacher, you will just like that become a teacher. Just because somebody tells you that CA is a great course, you just start doing CA without even knowing ABCDs of that course, without even questioning and interviewing people what is actually there in it. You know what? When I was studying graduation, somebody told me that IAS is something which gives great reputation, status. You know what? So many things they told me. Then immediately I picked up. You believe it or not, to understand basic concepts in civil services, it took me for about 5 years because I knew that I was not okay for it. But I had to struggle a lot. So many years, so many hours daily, 8 hours, 10 hours I used to study. And even then, I went up to interview and I could not clear it. No regrets, but I gained knowledge. But had I focused my energy, my my study time, everything on something else, which I was actually best at, I would have been very excellent, right? Boys and girls, hey, this is something very serious. Right? I want to actually tell you something which is very important before you choose any career option which will actually change your life. All right, look at this. If you want to achieve anything, selecting your definite purpose, deciding what you want to become is the first thing that you want to become great. People became great not because they did something what others have told them to do. People were highly successful, became richest, got a lot of status, reputation, let it be an actor, a politician, or a police officer, or a chartered accountant, or a company secretary. Whatever it is, they could do something not because people told them to do, not because they were driven by people, but because they had a passion. Have you not heard about people who became doctors but they ended up becoming actors? Have you not heard about people who became chartered accountants later on they became the directors? Isn't it right? You need to think about hobbies that you normally have. You need to think about the job and the stability. Times like this, you will see a lot of fluctuations, and people are so scared that they're going to lose jobs. People are very much afraid that their job is not secured. Yes or no? You need to think about skills, you need to think about financial situation. You just like that decide something and start doing something. And you never had an interaction with your parents, and parents never told you that whether they are capable of supporting you for that course. See, I'm not saying that parents will discourage you if you want to do something, but if you had told them, if you had a discussion with them, definitely they would tell you the idea what to do, how to do. Otherwise, at least they will mentally prepare. When you choose a career, my sincere advice, all those students who are about to clear or pass your 10th standard or 12th standard, I'm telling you guys, you are supposed to look at something what you like. what you're actually good at? How do you find out? You need to because your process of thinking is like this. When you react to a situation, when you're able to understand certain things very clear, when you're able to grasp things very fast related to certain areas, would definitely tell you that yes, you're good at, and you will be enjoying it. All right. You need to start asking questions to people, maybe in the industry, related to industry, unrelated to industry, whatever it is. You also have to think about the resources, whether can you mobilize resources. First of all, you need to set up a plan. That suppose I have decided to become CA, let's say 4.5 to 5 years it takes. Let's say I have decided to become an IAS officer, it would take for about 2 to 3 years to prepare. Let's say I have decided to go for IIT. So everything requires resources. You need a lot of support. I have seen a lot of people who have got really excited and they started a course, and they ended up losing and dropping out in between. They could not continue that course because of several reasons. Some people discontinue because they don't have resources. Some people discontinue because they don't have adequate skills. Some people discontinue because they don't have adequate motivation. Some people drop out because they felt it's very tough. Some people discontinued because they never wanted to do it. They were told by somebody to do it. They were driven by somebody. Somebody has informed them that this is easy and we can do it, etc. etc. Think about something that you can do. If in case you're not capable of doing, I'm not saying you should not start doing it. I'm only saying, can you continue doing it? Can you stick on to it? Can you be consistent? If you cannot be consistent, if you cannot continue having resources, if you cannot continue liking it, if you cannot continue enjoying the job that you do, how are you going to do it? How are you going to continue it? And afterwards you'll come back and say, sir, this is what I chose. Somebody told me, you told me, my uncle told me, my teacher told me, my college told me. See, motivation is different. You see, Nia, I'll definitely tell my son or my kids or my students saying that this is good. I'm only trying to tell you this is good. It does not mean you have to take it up. I'm only trying to convince you that is good. It does not mean it is good for you. Collect the information. If you don't collect the information, how will you just come to a conclusion, guys? Having a passion to become something is very good. You must have, because you must set a goal and you must try to become somebody. But you must also get the information. If you don't get the information, if you don't talk to people who faced problems, I'm not saying what happened to others is going to happen to you. If I failed in so and so, it does not mean that you're going to fail. If he fails in so and so, it does not mean you are going to fail, because your case is different, his case is different. But there's nothing wrong in collecting the information and checking out with the people, checking out with the resources, checking out with capabilities, checking out with the skills, checking out whether we can continue or cannot continue, checking out whether do you really love it or not. You don't like numbers, you want to become CA. You don't sit for 8 hours, 4 hours. You don't do, you don't study, you don't have that patience to study every day, but you want to become CA, you want to become IAS, you want to become company secretary. The level of patience is very less. Otherwise, have you decided to increase that patience? I'm not trying to discourage those people who do not have skills. I'm only trying to tell you, when you know about what is needed for that particular course, you will at least do two things. Either you will think of a better option, otherwise, you'll start developing the skills that career requires. I hope my point is very clear. Yes. So, therefore, what are you supposed to do? You should love what you do. When you have decided a career, first of all, you should start loving it. Sometimes what happens is, after choosing, you have to love. That's going to be very difficult, as you all know very clearly. You ended up doing something, then afterwards you don't like it in the beginning. There is no option, because you need to have a career, you need to continue, you need to support your family, you need to have some job. You continue doing it. That will not help you, and that will not lead you anywhere. You need to choose such a career. If you try to do it, will you feel good? Will you be able to understand that easily? Because you can't choose a career which is going to be very difficult, and you can't continue learning throughout the life. One of my friend became a software engineer and he's there right now in USA. And I knew him very well. He started with just 10,000 salary. Now he's drawing more than 2-3 crores. You know what? He always lives on programs. He always lives on software thinking, etc., etc. You should feel that joy of doing it. You should have that happiness of doing it. You should have that satisfaction you should have that satisfaction when you do it. So choosing a career is not an easy task. You need to sit and give some thought process, talk to people, analyze. You need to think about your strengths, weaknesses, your resources, your skills, your capabilities, your interests, your hobbies, the people, career options. Okay, you choose one course. How many people have actually been benefited? How many people have actually been successful? I don't want to tell you that this is the right course or that is the right course. If in case you are so much interested in accountancy and you love numbers, go for CA. You are a legally, logically very highly expert, then think about company secretary or LLB. You want to serve this nation, you have that passion of changing something in the society, think about IAS. You're tech savvy and you want to do something, you want to invent something, you want to introduce something new, then think about IIT, think about engineering. You love, science, etc., then think about medicine. They're like this. You need to start digging up, and so many things you have to do. You can't just put it on the paper and say, yes, I passed 10th standard, so I'm going to do this. You need to consult experts in this field. You need to have a lot of counseling. Without having a counseling of several options, I repeat, several options, you're not supposed to have a counseling session with one person who's an expert in that profession and you will definitely be convinced by him. That is not fair. That is not at all fair. You're supposed to have a counseling with several, means at least 4 or 5 alternatives. After having an interaction with 4 or 5 people and experts, and also having a word with your parents, and also understand what actually happens in future with this course. Also understand the prospects, growth, career prospects, salary, promotion, the job nature, stress, security, etc., etc. All these things, you can't just switch on and say, yes, I'm going to do this. No, that is not good. Yes, the next very important thing, it should be challenging. At any cost, it should be challenging, guys. It should be challenging. If it is not challenging, I'm telling you, you're going to face some problems. There are so many jobs which are not very challenging. You must choose a job which is highly challenging when you choose a career. The next very important thing is, so what to do now? First of all, you need to set a goal. That is very important. What do you want to become? Maybe like you want to be a famous singer and you ended up studying something related to IAS. I don't think so. It works very well. You want to serve the society but you are stuck in the engineering, or you want to invent some machines, or you want to become a software engineer but you always think about the society changing, etc. You need to set a goal first. What do you want to actually become? What do you want in life? Write down on the paper today itself and make sure you choose a career related to that goal. Start collecting information, assess yourself, explore more occupations. There are so many career options. There is not one. Just because I tell you, just because somebody tells you, just because your parents tell you, just because your teachers tell you, just because your college where you studied to your 10th class and plus 1 and plus 2 tell you something. Everybody tells you so many things, but you need to explore various options and start gauging what kind of a career option is suitable, what kind of a career option has this, what kind of career option you could do it, what will have a growth, what kind of option is easy, is challenging, is something lucrative, status. Suppose you want to have a name in the society, then obviously you need to think about civil services or an LLB or something like that, right? So you need to write an action plan. If in case you have decided something, you know what to do to achieve that. The moment you know what to do to achieve that, You also know what kind of actions you need to. You want to become a um, a teacher, then you have to have a communication skills. You want to go for a software engineer, then you have to study maths. And you want to become a doctor, then you have to study so many biology or kind of subjects that are related. So can you do it? Write an action plan. Writing an action plan would definitely help you to do something. Guys, I want to tell you now one very important thing before you choose a career. Listen to many people, but don't be convinced by people, because I tell you something and different people will do. But speaking to experts of not one but many people will help you a lot. And I tell you that there are a lot of engineers. I tell you there are a lot of so many CS students you can't do. I tell you there are a lot of people appearing for IAS you can't do, etc. But I will tell you that is my opinion, or he will tell you that is his opinion. Gauge the options, explore the options, find the advantages, think about your skills, think about your patience level, think about your determination, think about the amount of work that you are supposed to put in there. Last but not the least, I want to tell you, if you really want to have something different in your life you never had, then obviously you need to do something different you never did in your life. But before that, choose the right career. This will take you to the places that you've never been to, and this will definitely help you to have a prosperity in life. Have a nice career. Good day.